Dance, he said. Music, I asked. Imagine. You see, I was just out of college. I had this expensive new college degree. It was the summer of 1974, but I was completely unable to find a paying work. So that morning, the newspaper, the Boston Globe, had said the magic words, "No experience required." So the name for the employer was also Irish, so I had an in. So I hopped onto the Red Line and I zapped down to Boylston Street in Boston, Massachusetts, which is where the red light district is, or was, in 1974. And I walked into this office that had these really tall glass buildings, and there was this guy, Mr. Thomas J. Sullivan, sitting at this desk, and there were pictures on the walls of women with cat-eye makeup, all dressed in like feathers and fans and snakes. And the only music I heard was the sound of the barkers down on Boylston Street on the sidewalk below. There was a note of desperation. It wasn't musical, but there was a note of desperation as they tried to get people to come in to see the blue movies and the strip clubs on a Monday lunch hour. "Well, you're going to dance?" he says. Well, I really needed money. I really needed money. The lease was up. I'd been living on peanut butter fluffernutter sandwiches. And the Y required cash for a bed. So I needed this job. So I began to dance. First a little shoulder, a little shimmy. And then I'm moving to the music of my own spheres. And I hear nothing except the squeak of the chair as Mr. Sullivan shifts. Now, you got to understand, Mr. Sullivan, he is a substantial presence. He has significant mass. Each finger is like a bratwurst sausage with bands around each finger, the flesh overflowing the bands of gold, platinum, and diamonds. "Great," he says. He says, "Great. You got the job 6 o'clock tonight, down at the treasure chest down the block. Go downstairs, get your costume." And then he turns away, just like Jabba the Hutt dismissing a dancing girl. And I descend the stairs, and I've got visions of like pennies from heaven. No, silver dollars from heaven floating around me, showering down. Bills of high denominations floating and flying in the air. I get down to the first floor. I open the door. The bell rings more, the sound of money. And I go in, and it's like this wardrobe shop, and there's an old balding monk guy behind this big glass case. And I said, "Mr. Sullivan, he sent me down to get my costume. Is it going to be fans, feathers, or snakes?" "Sequins. What's your favorite color?" "Blue, like my eyes." I always said blue. And he turns, without even checking, he turns around behind him, and he pulls out one of these teeny tiny drawers, like in an apothecary cabinet. Pulls out this teeny tiny drawer, and then he turns back to me with his hand outstretched, palm flat, and on it is my entire costume. There's a cobalt blue triangle with 2 elastic strings. And there are these 2 kind of squashed cones of matching sequins. He slides it into the thinnest paper bag you ever saw. It's really, not quite big enough for a birthday card. He slides it into this bag and he hands it to me. I take it. I get home. Now it's the middle of the day. Everybody's at work except me. Everybody's at work. I lock the apartment door behind me. I pull over the chair. I go into the bathroom. There are no windows in the bathroom. I lock the door. And then I examine. But first, lipstick for courage. I disrobe. I explore and experiment with the engineering of the G-string. He had told me to pick up eyelash adhesive for the glue to keep them on, so I put the glue where I thought it went. And then I positioned the 2 cones of sequins. And then there was no mirror in the bathroom except the little one over the sink, so I looked in the mirror, and my lipstick is saying, "Hey, look at me." And then I climb up on top of the toilet seat. You've done this. I climb up on top of the toilet seat to see my torso, and as I'm balancing there, I see the blue of my costume is just stark against my pasty white flesh. And the thing is, to a nice Irish girl, blue means one thing: the Holy Mother of God. She was very strong. She was able to walk into a marriage while she was pregnant by other means. She faced ruin. I really needed a job. I wrapped myself in every single towel we owned, and I waddled out to the kitchen wall phone. "Mr. Sullivan, thank you so much. I really need a job. Thank you so much. There's not even any peanut butter left. But I can't do it." Nice Irish girl like you, I already hired someone else. And so these years later, I'm 65 now. Somehow I figured out how to eat beyond peanut butter. And I realized I've been thinking a lot because of stuff that's gone on. I've been thinking a lot. And that day I learned 3 things. I learned always look for the hidden cost. And I learned that I wasn't going to personally topple 5,000 years of a culture of objectification by myself, but I can celebrate each small step along the way. And I learned glue never belongs on a nipple.